What's up, guys? I am sitting outside of the John Deere store because I made a little whoopsie. The transmission or drive belt slipped. Actually, a pulley failed, which led to the drive belt popping off and fraying. It was all chewed up and chipped up anyway. Needs to be replaced. I have the X320 earlier model with a the RJR Tractor K66 swap. So what I didn't consider when I went and bought the new belt is that it's not the same belt that goes in the stock X320. So that belt ended up being too big. I put everything back together and the belt tensioner was actually rubbing the frame rail because the belt wasn't tight enough. So the proper belt for this thing is UC 30568 if you get it from the John Deere store. And it's a 1/2 inch by 89 inch belt. It's also available on the RJR website, but I need to get my lawn mowed today, so I'm just shopping local. So of course, with my luck, the tractor has to die on a hill. So I just figured I'd do the repair on the spot. I didn't decide to make this video till I already got everything pulled apart, but just figured it would be helpful with the different belt numbers and everything else just to go through the process. Getting the deck off is super easy. You have some, what are these? 13 mil bolts in the back that hold the deck down. You got 2 nuts that go through here because there's bolts that come off the deck through here. And then you have to use either get a screwdriver or a pry bar in there and pop this deck adjuster off. And then she should be free. Just be careful when you pull it out. You're gonna have to unclip this wiring from the seat and thread it through. You don't want to snag that and cause more problems. The belt was already popped off, so that was pretty self-explanatory to get off. I just yanked on it, but in order to get it off, you have to thread it through a few things. As far as equipment, to get the bolts that hold this plate on here with the belt tensioner underneath, there's gonna be 10 millimeter. You got 15 mil for getting the pedal brackets off. And then you're gonna need to undo the steering rods, which is gonna be a 15 mil box wrench on the small and a 17 on the big nut, and that'll get those off. So basically, drop the deck and then undo your steering arms because it has to pass through the bracket and these, and then pop your belt tensioner bracket off. And the last step, getting the deck off, you just need to take your pedal brackets off. Basically, it just goes in like that. You put your 15 mil bolt through there. To disconnect them, you just go obviously under the deck, pop them off. They come through the deck, and then you're ready to pull the whole thing off. Now, I've seen some videos where guys pop the tractor upright and take the entire PTO clutch assembly off. That's not necessary at all. What we're gonna do, we're gonna thread it through, and I'll put my camera somewhere to show you the process. So we're gonna start and get it hooked around the back pulley at the transmission. And then we're gonna take this, feed it on through. And if you see this bracket down here, it's gotta go around that. And that's why we need to take the steering arms off. And let's go around this side first. It's easier to show. To get it around this, so what you can do, you just turn the steering wheel, and that puts it exactly where you need it to get the belt around. And do that on the other side. And then you just slide the belt up over the PTO pulley. Make sure you're actually on the top pulley, not underneath of it. And then we're gonna go to the belt tensioner. So this is the belt tensioner. It is gonna sit in the tractor like this with your deck height adjustment forward. You're gonna have, if this is the front of the tractor, this is the back of the tractor, big pulley in the front, small pulley in the back. You got 13 mil bolts or nuts to come off. One thing to be careful of, this is the pulley that actually failed. This nut came off. The pulley was super loose from banging around. It's just the the square bottom nut in the square hole that holds it in place, and that actually stripped just from vibrating around. So I had to go in there, and I was actually able to pry this down and tack a weld in there just to hold it in place, and it works. Basically the belt is going to come obviously V-side in around here, and then flat side in around here, because this is flat and that's a V. So when it's all put together, it should look like that. Just double check that your washers are flush with the metal bracket, just so there's no play in there. And we're just gonna flip it. I'm gonna need 2 hands. There, nope, got it with 1. Okay. So let's go sit with that. You also have to get your fuel lines out of the way. Common sense. And then this is actually gonna go over that. So you're gonna be set up like that, and they're gonna tighten everything up. All right, so once you have the tensioner bracket bolted back in, you're gonna wanna secure, there's that spring that hooks on that arm on the tensioner bracket and goes all the way back to there, right there. Now, at this stage, the tractor runs, and it should be a good time just to fire it up and make sure everything is where it's supposed to be. The belt's not flipped around, everything's in the right place, nothing's rubbing. And once that's all done, you verified that, then you can just put it back together. All right, so everything's good. Let's just bolt her back together and make sure she drives. All right, so you got your bolts through the bracket on the underside there. Your 13 mil bolts here. Wire threaded through the seat. I did a little hack of bridging the wires so the automatic shutoff doesn't happen when you get off your seat. Obviously, put your fuel cap back in. This little thing just folds. That's what I get for trying to do this with one hand. There we go. Pop that all the way in there. Let's put our pedals back on and we are good to go.